Hello, my dear students. Hope you having nice time, best time, and hard study. Last session, I explained the structure of axial skeleton. Today, I'm gonna to explain the structure of appendicular skeleton, the second type of skeleton, the tendons, the ligaments, joints, cartilage, all other structures related to the skeletal system. Let's start to study the structure of appendicular skeleton. Appendicular skeleton consists of two pectoral girdles. Each one consists of scapula and clavicle. So the two pectoral girdles are identical to each other's. Scapula, as you see here, scapula is triangular dorsal bone. Its inner bone or its inner end is broad, while its outer end is pointed. It has a process. This one is the process through which it attaches to the clavicle. Clavicle, it is long, thin ventral bone attached from the anterior view to the sternum. Sternum, you studied it in the thoracic cavity in axial skeleton, okay? So the clavicle bone attached to the sternum, attached anteriorly to the sternum and laterally to the scapula from the process, okay? This is the pectoral girdle, consists of two identical halves, and each half consists of scapula and clavicle. Let's see this video, which explains the structure of pectoral girdle and upper limbs. This is the pectoral girdle, this is the scapula, and this is the inner broad end of scapula, and this is the outer broad end of scapula. The outer broad end of the scapula form glenoid cavity, which appear here. And this is the humerus of upper arm. The head of humerus fit in the glenoid cavity, forming shoulder joints. And this is the process of scapula, which attach with the clavicle, okay? As you see, this is the scapula, triangular bone, and this is the process through which it connected with or attached with clavicle. And this is the humerus bone. Look here, this is the humerus bone. The head of humerus bone fit in glenoid cavity. Humerus bone has at its end, at its lower end, has an inner projection. Look here in the video. This is the inner projection to fit with the upper part of ulna. The upper part of ulna fit with the lower projection of humerus, okay? Look here, it is the forearm bones. Forearm bones consist of two bones, ulna and radius. Ulna and radius. Ulna is the longer bone and radius with smaller in size. The ulna, the upper part of ulna, has a depression in which the lower projection of humerus fits to form elbow joints. Okay, the elbow joints consist of depression of ulna and the projection of humerus. Radius bone is smaller in size than ulna, can rotate around ulna in semicircular motion around the fixed ulna. Remember, ulna doesn't move, but radius move, okay? This is different views of forearm, humerus, upper arm, radius and ulna, forearm. This is elbow joints. This is the wrist joint here, okay? Hand bones, look here at the hand bones. This is the hand bones. Hand bones consist of 27 bones. This region is the wrist, and this is hand palm, and this is hand digits. The rest consists of 8 bones in 2 rows, arranged in 2 rows, called carpals. We have 8 carpals, and their upper end are attached to the lower part of ulna. The upper end of wrist connected with the lower part of radius, not attached to the ulna. Ulna attached only with humerus, and radius attached only with the wrist. Okay, while their lower end, the lower end of wrist or of carpals attached with the bones of hand palm. Hand palm consists of 5 bones called metacarpals that are followed by 5 digits fingers. Hand digits consist of 5 fingers. Each finger consists of 3 bones called phalanges, except the thumb. Thumb consists of only of 2 bone or 2 phalanges. Okay. The structure of upper limb again, it consists of humerus and forearm, upper arm. The upper arm is humerus, which is the head of humerus fit in the glenoid cavity. Again, don't forget that the head of humerus fit on the upper head of humerus, or the head of humerus, the same, fit in glenoid cavity to form shoulder joints, which is widely movement joints. Okay. This is the process or the projection of humerus, this one, okay, to fit in the cavity or the depression of ulna. Okay. Forearm bones, they are 2 bones, radius and ulna. As I said, the radius is movable bone, while the ulna is fixed bone. Ulna attached with humerus to form elbow joints, which is limited joints, while radius move around ulna in semicircular movement. Radius connect with the rest bones. Okay, this is the ulna. Look here. This is the depression, we say, the depression between these 2 bones. These 2 processes contain depression to fit the process or projection from humerus to form elbow joints. Okay. Radius smaller in size, can rotate around fixed ulna in semicircular. Also, this one is radius, directed toward the thumb. This one is the ulna, directed toward the small finger. Okay, let's see this video which explains how the radius moves around the ulna. As you see, radius move in semicircular path around the ulna. Semicircular motion around the ulna, while the ulna doesn't move. Okay. Hand bones, make a quick revision on hand bones. 27 bones divided. 8 bones in wrist bones, 8 bones called 8 carpals, and 5 bones in hand palm, 5 bones called metacarpals, and 15 phalanges. Look here, this is the fingers in hand or hand digits. This is the fingers. Each finger consists of 3 phalanges except the thumb, which consists only of 2 phalanges. Okay. This is a video for hand bones, which consist of 27 bones. Also, between each bone and the other, there is joints. Also, the ligaments connect the 2 bones together. This metacarpophalanges joints. Different type of joints here between bones. The name of joints according to the position of the joints. Okay. This is the distal interphalangeal joints, and this is the proximal interphalangeal joints. You don't need to keep these names, okay? But look here, this bone and this bone need ligaments to connect between them, and also their articular cartilage. It is very important. Articular cartilage located between 2 bones to reduce friction between bones, so keep bone without damage. Okay, as you see, the articular cartilage protects the bones. This is the ligament. Ligament connect bones together to facilitate their movement. These ligaments called collateral ligaments because they connect between bones from lateral sides, prevent bones from sliding or moving by irregular way. Okay, also there is 3 types of joints here, and also there are many ligaments in your hand. Okay. Now, let's remember that the total number of pectoral girdle bones are 4 bones. 4 bones, 2 scapula, 1 on each side, and 2 clavicle, also 1 on each side. 2 clavicle connected by sternum in front of your body, ventral view, okay. Also, the number of bones forming the shoulder joints are 2 bones, which are 1 scapula, 1 humerus. Also, the total number of one upper limb is 30 bones. So, the 2 upper limbs are 60 bones. Each 30 bones are 1 humerus, 2 forearm bones, which are radius and ulna, and 27 hand bones. 27 hand bones are 8 carpals, 5 metacarpals, 14 phalanges. Now let's study the pelvic girdles and the lower limbs. Okay. Pelvic girdle consists of 2 identical halves that are attached from ventral side at a region called pubic symphysis or pubis symphysis. This is the pubis symphysis or pubic symphysis. Both are the same, okay? Again, the pelvic girdle consists of 2 identical halves attached from the ventral side at the pubic symphysis. What is the pubic symphysis? Pubic symphysis, this one, is a tissue represent the attachment of 2 identical halves of pelvic bones ventrally. That means that the pubic symphysis appear only from the ventral view. Again, don't forget that pubic symphysis appear only from ventral view. It doesn't appear from dorsal view. Okay. The dorsal, there are 3 bones here. Dorsal ilium attached anteriorly and ventrally with pubis. This one is pubis, okay, and this is ilium, this is ilium, this is pubis, and this one is ischium, okay. Ilium attached ventrally and anteriorly with pubis, while ilium also attached posteriorly and ventrally with ischium. At the position of attachment of these 3 bones, ilium, ischium, and pubis, there is a deep depression, such as the depression which present in the scapula between the scapula pointed end to form shoulder joints. Do you remember the glenoid cavity in which the humerus head fit on the glenoid cavity? This is also like it. This is also like it. The acetabulum cavity formed in the point of connection between ilium, ischium, and pubis, forming acetabulum cavity. And in acetabulum cavity, the head of humor fit in it, forming hip joints. Now we have 4 cavities. Up to now, we have 4 cavities in two girdles. 2 in pectoral girdles, which called glenoid cavity, to form shoulder joints. And here we have 2 acetabulum cavity. We have 2 acetabulum cavity to form hip joints. Okay. The bone of each half, ilium and ischium and pubis, these 3 bones are fused together. So we calculate them, we consider them only 1 bone, not 3 bones. Do you remember the vertebral column? As we said, the sacral vertebra, we calculate them 1 bone. Coccygeal vertebra, we calculate them only 1 bone because they are fused together. The same here. Ilium, ischium, and pubis bones are fused together, so we calculate them only 1 bone. Okay, so the pelvic girdle consists of 2 bones connected ventrally at pubis symphysis. Okay. And this is the anterior view and posterior view for the pelvic girdles. As we see here, sacrum appear from anterior or posterior view, that's sacral vertebra. Ilium appear and pubis appear and ischium appear. All 3 bones appear from anterior or posterior view, but take care that the shape of ilium, pubis, ischium from anterior view differ from that from posterior view. Okay, when the question asks you about what is the view, this one is anterior view because we can see the pubis from anterior view, pubis symphysis from anterior view, while from posterior view we cannot see the pubis symphysis. Okay, from posterior view we can see the coccygeal vertebra. This one is coccygeal vertebra. We can see it from posterior view, we cannot see it from anterior view. Okay, ilium, pubis, ischium form hip bone. All of them considered one bone because they are fused together, this bone called hip bone. Okay, and this one is acetabulum cavity where the head of femur fit in it, forming hip joints. Okay, so from anterior view we can see pubic symphysis, we cannot see it from posterior view. From posterior view we can see the coccygeal vertebra, we cannot see it from anterior view. The pelvic girdle, again, the pelvic girdle consists of two identical halves fused ventrally at a region called pubic symphysis. This is the pubic symphysis, and this is another picture for the pelvic girdles, so you collect a lot of pictures to understand it exactly. Okay. Each half consists of dorsal bone called ilium. Ilium attaches anteriorly and ventrally to the pubis. Here is the pubis, and posteriorly and ventrally to the ischium. This is the pubis and this is the ischium. This is the ilium attached and ventrally and anteriorly to the pubis, and attached posteriorly and ventrally to the ischium. Okay. Don't forget the number of pelvic girdle are 2 bones, not 6 bones. They are only 2 bones. Each bone consists of 3 fused bones: ilium, ischium, and pubis. Okay. Also, don't forget the number of pelvic bones. They are 4 bones, 2 pelvic bones, which each one consists of 3 fused bones, and 1 sacral bone, 1 coccygeal bone. Okay. Sacral vertebra fused together, so we consider them or calculate them only 1 bone. Coccygeal vertebra fused together, also we calculate them only 1 bone. The pelvic cavity in female is wider than that in male. Why? Why the pelvic cavity in female wider than that in male? To facilitate the baby delivery during labor. This is the pelvic cavity in male, and this is the pelvic cavity in female. Okay, there is a difference between them. The man is narrower while female is wider. Okay, let's study the structure of lower limb in details. Okay, this video explains the structure of lower limbs, but this is the pelvic girdle, this is the ilium, and this one is ischium, and this one is pubis, and this is the acetabulum cavity. Okay, wait. This is the pubis symphysis, this one. This is the head of femur fit in acetabulum cavity, and this is the femur bone, which is longer and thick. Okay. Look here at the femur bone. Femur bone is bone start with the head fit into acetabulum cavity, and its lower end there is 2 projections we will see in the video now. Let's see. There are 2 projections here. This one and this one, there are 2 projections to articulate with the shank bones. Look here, this is two big processes. Articulate with the shank bones at a region called knee. Okay, where is the patella? This is the posterior view. Look, from posterior view we cannot see patella, but from the anterior view we can see patella. Okay, this is the posterior view. This is the lateral view. Look here from the lateral view, we can see fibula. This bone is fibula and this bone is tibia. From lateral view, we can see fibula and tibia. Okay, this is the patella. This is the anterior view from the lower limb. Look here, the patella appear only from the anterior view. The patella present in knee joints. Okay, so the knee joint consists of 3 bones up to now, the femur bone and the tibia bones and the patella. Okay. Look to the shank bones. Shank bone consists of, here they are 2 bones called shank bones. The inner bone called fibula, and the inner bone called tibia, and the outer bone called fibula. This one is the inner bone and this one is the outer bone. The inner bone attaches to the femur bone, forming knee joints. Again, the shank consists of 2 bones. Inner bone called tibia, and the outer bone called fibula. Okay. They are the foot bones. Medial view, superior view, this one is superior view. Anterior view, this is ventral view. Okay. Look here at the foot bone. It consists of 3 regions: ankle, instep, foot toes. Okay, we will explain it in details. This is the foot bones. Also, there is a cartilage, articular cartilage between each phalanges. Okay, and also there is ligaments between bones. Look here at the foot bones. We consist ankle. We consists of 3 parts. The first one is ankle, which consists of 7 bones, each bone of them called tarsals. The largest one is the heel. This one is the largest one, which called the heel. Okay, the heel appear also here. Instep, it consists of 5 bones, 5 long bones, and long and thin bones called metatarsals. They are the 5 long thin bones called metatarsals. Each one of them end with the toes. Foot toes, they are 5 toes. Each one consists of 3 phalanges, such as look like the hand. 5 toes, each one consists of 3 phalanges, except the big toe. This one consists only of 2, while this consists of 3, this consists of 3, and this one consists of 3. Okay, let's study the 2 lower limbs. Each one consists of what? We explained it, but we will make quick revision on it. This is the lower limbs. Okay, the lower limbs, this one is pelvic girdle here and here, ilium, pubis, and ischium. Also, this is 3 bones, ilium, pubis, ischium, called hip bones. Okay, this is the hip joint. Hip joint formed from the acetabulum cavity and the head of femur. This is the femur bone, and we said it is long, thick bones. Okay, the head of femur bone fit in acetabulum cavity, forming hip joints, and the lower part, or at the lower end of the femur, there are 2 big processes to articulate with the shank, articulate with tibia bones, forming knee joints. Don't forget to calculate the patella in the bones forming knee joints. Okay, and also this one is shank bones, which consists of 2 bones, tibia and fibula. Tibia is the inner bone and fibula is the outer bone. Fibula is thin bone, tibia is thick bone. Okay, femur is thick bone that starts with the head, fit into the acetabulum cavity. Don't forget that we have 2 cavities in the pelvic girdles and 4 cavities. We have 2 cavities in the pelvic girdle and lower parts. We have 4 cavities in the pectoral girdles and upper parts. 2 in shoulders, 2 in shoulders, and shoulder 2 in glenoid cavity. We have got 4 cavities in the upper part, 2 glenoid cavities, and 2 cavities in 2 ulnar bones. While in lower parts we have only 2 cavities, which called acetabulum cavity, each one called acetabulum cavity. So the total number of cavities in human body are 6 cavities. Okay, femur, the lower end of femur with 2 big processes that articulate with the shank at the knee joint and has patella that we said before. Okay, the shank. What are the shank? Shank are bones of 2 types or 2 names, which are tibia and fibula. Consist of 2 bones, which are tibia, inner bone, and fibula, outer bone. Okay, this is the foot bones, as we said before and explained it before. This is the ankle, consists of 7 bones, and this one is the foot, consists 5 bones, and this one is phalanges, which are 14 bones. So the total number of bones is 7 plus 5 plus 14, 27 bones. And this is the front views of ankle: lateral view, median view, and dorsal or superior view, anterior or inferior view. This picture to help you to answer different questions related about this. Now we finished explaining axial and appendicular skeleton. Hope you hard study and understand what I explained. Best wishes for you.